What are some of the first things that come to mind when you hear the phrase "stolen from Africa"?
When I hear "stolen from Africa," really, for me, it really made me happy to even hear that out here. Like, you know, because I feel like, yo, we don't have a trademark. Africa does not have a trademark. And a lot of our stuff gets stolen, you know, our ideas, I could go right now and see like dance moves out here, and a lot of them are African dance moves. And people go to Africa, you know, when you go to Africa and you buy those beads, or you buy those little, you know, African stuff, none of that stuff is trademarked. There's no name on it, nothing, you know, just some guy down the street who's selling it dirt cheap, but then it gets brought up here and sold for more. So when I hear the word "stolen from Africa," it kind of like makes like, yeah, you know, finally there's an awareness towards that kind of stuff that's happening in Africa, and that, you know, it just wraps around the whole concept of, you know, the originality of Africa, Africa being the source of raw materials and all of that. It wraps that in with why the other part of the world, we have everything, but we don't have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, how do you build your house when you don't have the rock, you know what I mean, in your place? You know what I mean? But you got a big castle. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you have gold reserve when there's no gold in your country? You know, I have gold in my country and I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so what's happening? You know what I mean? Why is King Tut's body laying in England? Or why is these Egyptian monuments, why are they all over the world?
King Tut was actually in Toronto, just like, might actually still be here, the King Tut exhibit, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Real
like,
time.
just so to speak, like, I'm not, you know, like, why is all these things that we have, why is it taken from us without any kind of recognition for it? Like, you know what, I got this from Africa. They're not doing that. They bring it over, they rebrand it, give it a different name and different stuff, and now it's from Brussels, you know what I mean? Now it's this. And now all of a sudden the guy in Africa is looking at it like, yo, that used to grow in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? So, "Stolen from Africa," to me, I think is a very, very conscious and positive concept of you know, understanding the history of humanity in the world. You know what I mean? Where we as human beings all over the world, be it white, black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it gives all of us a brighter understanding of ourselves as human beings on this world, because we know where it's coming from. I mean, when you hear "stolen," it might sound like, you know, like somebody's trying to accuse somebody of something, but, you know, the truth has to be told. You know what I mean? If you look in the dictionary, you know, when they say steal, it's when you take something that don't belong to you. You know what I'm saying? That's what stealing is. You know, if it don't belong to you and you took it, you know, if you con a man, you know, like the Soul-Kiss man that con people, yeah, he's stealing. You know what I mean? So if it's stolen from Africa, it's stolen from Africa. So you guys call it as it is. So I respect that. I respect that, actually. You know, and me being an African, you know, I'm definitely down. You know, as soon as I see that, I'm like, yo, that's what's up right there. You know, because I feel the pain. I know what it is. You know, somebody else might take offense because they don't know the pain, but they just have to get educated, because that's what it is. It's what it's about. It's about being educated to understand where you came from and where that other man came from, and what makes him the way he is, and what makes you the way you are. You know what I mean? Like, before you judge him, you gotta first, you know, read the book first before you judge, you know, just from the cover. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts on "Stolen from Africa." You know.